What's going on, folks? Kid Shorty Gaming Nation in the building. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All right. We have a lot to talk about today. Surfing through these YouTube streets and a lot of BS. You know what I'm saying? Wait for a moment for people to get in. Get my phone out. Okay, give me one moment. Make sure everything is started. Give me one moment. Let's start. Anyway, let's get it started, right? In black culture, it's the reason why we have a lot of these problems is because one, the center or the core of or the foundation of black culture or a black community, I should say, is relationships, dating and mating. Why is that? Is because A, you need black people to replenish black people, and B, how those black people are being cultivated in that home or in a household is going to affect society when those black people become adults. It's going to determine if they're productive in society or not. And the funny thing is the interaction in the dating and mating or between black women and black men is lopsided. For example, black men are tasked with accountability and leadership, and but when it comes to black women and their inability to follow that black man, you cannot hold her accountable for why she's not following instructions or why she's choosing to follow the wrong thing. When a black man approaches a black woman, it's supposed to be a one-on-one interaction, individual, subjective, personal. But the problem is she comes into it already conditioned by black culture to see black men as lazy, toxic, or no good. That cultural programming is heavier than any influence a single man can have. No matter how disciplined, no matter how highly valuable he is, no matter how traditional he is, no matter how respectful he is, no matter how high achieving he is. This is why we say shit to black men like, you know, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. But what they really mean is, even though who you are as an individual man is very important, your identity is important, but what you do is very valuable. The things you do keeps the world spinning as men. So when they say it's not about what you do, it's about who you are, how they translate that, or what they mean is they're using that to discredit your accomplishments as a black man. And it's an excuse to make, because when you say who you are, you're not always going to be happy with who that person is, especially when it comes to women's attraction. They could be attracted to who you are today, but then be unattractive by who you are tomorrow. You understand? So when it comes to black women, she has a choice. She can see that man for who he is and what he's done, and she can fall in love with that person, or she can follow the culture script about black men. And typically, black women follow that script like their hive mind. And for example, any black woman that steps out of that hive mind nature or steps out of that sisterhood, thinking of black men ain't shit, she's shamed and called a pick me or man identifier, whatever she wants to call it. However black women shame black women who respect men, right? And culture usually wins. High value, disciplined men, the ones who want to commit, provide, to protect, and to lead, are often shamed, called lame, called suckers. Meanwhile, the players, the max, and the pimps, they're elevated, respected, admired, and admired. Women learn to devalue good men and elevate the bad. Right? See, the max and the pimps and the player niggas you see on YouTube, they shame high value, disciplined men too, because they understand the cultural programming. That now, if I call this brother who's disciplined, who's highly valued, this is why they didn't like Kevin Samuels' high value man concept, because it put black men in a traditional standard that black women say they would submit to. And because black women were not submitting to those type of men, it made black women look bad. But now if other groups of men shame that standard, like the lower type of tier of men, now it's the women look at that as, okay, well, these men will play a max of pimps that we value are shaming those dudes. Because it takes men to validate other men. You understand? So the black women are watching that, right? Black men, though are conditioned to love unconditionally, even when treated poorly. You've heard black men get up and still talk about how they love black women, but they could describe in their lives how black women treated them like shit, and still would deal with black women unconditionally. This is why whenever time black men break that cycle and dates outside his race, he gets called "Ain't Your Mama Black," because he was treated bad by a fucked up mother. And because he loves his mother unconditionally, he's supposed to love strange black women unconditionally. Because black men, we're tied to our masculinity, to what our mothers say and what our mothers do, right? But many women have been conditioned to behave negatively towards them. Some good women mimic bad behavior. Some get distorted by culture, right? Right. So this is where you get the good women who mimic bad behavior. Some low quality women appear traditionally temporarily, right? One-on-one signals, attraction, interest, and responses get distorted by culture, right? So now, because black culture is there and it's fucked up and it's conditioning women to be 304s and all that other stuff, and you condition black men to accommodate those type of women, the good women feel as if like, yo, I gotta be this. And then now it's hard to tell the good women apart from the 304s because the 304s are pretending to be good women to get high value dudes. So now it's very difficult for men, black men, especially if you're brother and you're traditional, to tell them apart because they all act the same. The 304s borrow from the traditional women, and the traditional women borrow again from the 304s. Right? And then the dating coach, she'll come on the internet and tell you, watch how she responds. That tells you if she's interested. Right? That's elementary shit. Schoolyard shit, schoolboy shit. That's the basics. Just because she's interested in you doesn't mean she's the right type of woman for you. Just because she's interested in you doesn't mean that she's a traditional woman. And why does she have interest in you? Think about that. Now, let's talk about high value man. Kevin Samuels, shout out to Kevin Samuels, brought back a standard of men who are disciplined, purposeful, six figures, and consistent. That standard gave men a leverage in dating because women had to meet certain criteria to access commitment and intimacy. Players, broke niggas, and Max hated that. Why? Because if women started aligning with high value standards, that box economy that a lot of you black men who just want to delve into pussy all day, you're going to lose access to that if they're aligned with traditional men. So what you brothers do, black men on this YouTube do, is you dirty Mac traditional niggas, and then you teach black women to rebel against them niggas. You're not going to say that directly. You're not going to be honest about that, but that's what you're doing. All right. Now, the reason why I say, let me break down the reason why I say the rule of attraction and how a woman responds to you is very important, but that's the basics. That's the elementary shit, right? Why is it elementary? Because now when you're going out and you're approaching women every day and you're talking to women every day, her responses to you is going to tell you her level of attraction towards you, her level of interest towards you. You can't, now, the thing is with the next stage of that now is you got to teach this woman how to love and respect you. Why is that? Because you cannot base how a woman is attracted to you, or how she's responding to you as the end all be all to a relationship. Because women's attractions and their responses to you move with how they feel. And how women feel moves with New York weather. Brooklyn could be sunshine and happiness. Queens could be storm raining. One moment it could snow, the next moment it could sunshine. So you can't depend upon that attraction and how she responds to you in the moment, right? You got to vet to see if she's consistent with her responses and constant with her consistently and constant with her responses. In other words, how she's responding to you, is this who she is, right? And then now you have to teach her how to respect you and how to love you. Because love is putting in the work. Respect is respecting how she is her treating you properly. Respecting your boundaries, respect what you don't like, and all this other good stuff. So that's why when a dating coach is talking to you, now he's supposed to teach y'all that, right? Because a dating coach, he's supposed to teach you how to, approach women properly. And when I say properly, like finding women that are showing interest in you. So they're supposed to teach you the elementary stuff. What I'm talking about, or a lot of other brothers are talking about, is the culture, which is a step higher. Right? Because now the culture already teaches black women not to respect black men, not to be performative, not to do this and that when it comes to a black man. And because the culture teaches black women to hate black men, no matter how good of a man he is, right? So even if now you attract this woman on a one-to-one interaction, attraction base, now you have to teach her to respect you. Now you have to go through all the bad culture that she's already programmed in her brain with to view you for that relationship to work. Right? Attraction alone doesn't work either. Attraction doesn't supersede love or respect. A woman might always feel sparks, but love and respect keep her aligned. She puts in work for the man she loves, and she respects, honors his boundaries, respects his authority, and follows his guidance. That's why you can't build relationships solely around feeling attraction. Now, I wrote an essay to this shit, right? So what I do is I write down my thoughts, or I use ChatGPT to help me, and then I break down my thoughts, and then extrapolate talking points from it. Especially when women are often misapply it to. So now here's the thing. That's why you can't build relationships solely around fleeting attraction, especially when women often misapply it to low value men while devaluing higher value men. That is the contradiction in Black culture and in the Black community. Is the nigga, the low tier nigga that get the most pussy in Black culture? That's the nigga we look at as a player, Mac, and pimp. Because Black culture and Black men, we're defined about solely based upon how much pussy we get. Right? It's not based upon Black men building and conquering and accomplishing things for the glory of it. It's about how much pussy he's getting. And because Black men's our value is solely dictated upon who Black women give access to their pussy to, those are the men that we consider, that Black culture considers as high value. But the problem with that is now, because those type of niggas, they're not doing nothing. They're broke, they're lazy, they just know how to fucking get the bitch pregnant. Right? And that contributes to Black women's foolishness, right? Because Black women, they need them type of niggas to get them pregnant so they could get welfare, WIC, EBT, and all the other bullshit. Meanwhile, the traditional Furious, shout out to the Angry Man because he broke down Furious Styles character, right? And I gave Furious Styles an archetype, right? Those type of niggas of Black culture, Black women don't find attractive because those brothers are more traditional. They got more standards. So they're actually not lame or boring. The reason why Black women call them lame and boring is because it's the translation to say that those men will not allow her to be chaotic in their presence. She got to be on top of her game to get that type of dude. So they'll shame those men and not give them no pussy, but give their box to niggas who ain't shit. And Black culture responds to that. So this is me giving credit to the Black Manosphere. Finally, credit where it's due. The Black Manosphere has been shifting how men think. So shout out to the Angry Man. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, even though Tommy Sotomayor is not the Black Manosphere, but he kind of influenced it. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic. Shout out to you guys. How they operate and how they raise standards in dating. Black women complain about it because they can't access the men they used to. How value men are recognized and who qualifies and who doesn't. And that changes the dynamic. That's the other reason why players and max and the broke, low value niggas don't like high value men, because the high value men is dictating what woman qualifies for their value. In other words, it's not what you bring to the table, is do you qualify to sit at my table? You understand? So the high value man is dictating that, right? Well, opposed to the player, the Mac, and the pimp, they say their influence has been dictated in Black culture because they value the 304s on the low tier women more valuable, right? Because it's easier for them to have access to them. You know what I'm saying? So now they have to look at the high value man and they have to use old school shaming tactics like sucker, lame, and square, because those words are programmed culturally into Black women that if you call a Black man this, he's not to be respected. He's not to be valued. So that's why they say it. So that's that there. Make sure you click the like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Say something to me in the chat. I'm going to be reviewing a channel from my man Fatty and I think the brother Ali. Hold on, let me go to it right quick. The brother Ali. They call themselves the Untouchables. So shout out to the Untouchables.
I didn't like.
And they were having a conversation or discussion. Tommy Sotomayor was there, and they were talking. Tommy Sotomayor, my fault. I have to say Tommy's name properly. So they were having a discussion, and they brought up some things that I've heard, that I hear, and it's interesting. And I built a PowerPoint PDF to break down what was said, but we're going to review them on what's being said. And this topic is something that Black men were dealing with in Black culture, and nobody wants to address it. Or when we do address it, it's put back on the Black men for lack of performance. All right. So let's get into it. So shout out to Ali, shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, shout out to Fatty, shout out to the Untouchables, because Fatty, he put this panel together. And Fatty, I hope to be on your panel one day if you ever watch this video. He put together this panel so we can have this discussion. Shout out to DJ Ham too as well, right? So let's get into it.
I was doing something for somebody I claim I didn't like. I was doing something.
All right, so I want to go. So we right on top. We are right on top of what they're talking about.
Go ahead and ask the question again, and then we go from there.
Right, and Jazz, plus it's a teachable moment for young girls just watching, possibly from mistakes that women made, and try to learn from y'all mistakes, right?
But can you ask your question?
Yes. If y'all no longer picking wrong, and you're evolved and educated, what does that look like? What type of man are you picking now that you've evolved and educated? And now
I want to get into what Jess was saying. No,
by jerks, and we have no time in our lives anymore for them. So we really start looking for men who we know will be great long-term partners.
Yes.
No, Jess. I describe Jess as Jess is beautiful. I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie, right? Y'all niggas can do that bullshit about shaming a woman's looks and her beauty to try to, I guess, put her in her place. I don't do that over here. Now, I'm honest. Jess is a beautiful chick. My only problem with her is that she fits this archetype. Jess fits this archetype right here. When I hear her talk, she fits this. The feminist Marxist hybrid. Core traits fluid and academic sounding anti-patriarchal rhetoric. Feminism, overthrow the patriarchy. Marxism equals overthrow of capitalism. All right. Frames Black leadership as oppression. So based on how I've heard Jess talk in the past, that's what she sounds like. She fits this archetype. Either she's this one or this one. Reason why I'm telling y'all that is because a lot of Black men, y'all get fooled by this archetype in Black culture, because she sounds like she's pro-Black and she's for y'all, but she's not. All right, so let's get into it here.
Falling in love with these guys that men clearly recognize that there's some character flaws, might be in jail, might be deadbeats, might have 3 baby mamas. And then we turn around and we ask, do you guys like these guys? No, not me and my friends. Like, why do we get this contradicting story? And that is kind of
niggas fresh out of jail. If women's words were true, they wouldn't be fucking at all. But the niggas fresh out of jail getting more pussy than anybody else. And the question is, why would they fuck him at all? These niggas' dick should be dry as hell. They should be sitting around. If all the shit women are saying is true, these niggas should come out of jail and be like, won't nobody fuck with me. This messed up. Why a criminal can't get no pussy these days? But
I want Tommy said something very interesting just now. In Black culture, the Black men who are complaining about not getting access to Black women's box or not getting respect from Black women are not the prison niggas or the bums or the players in the max. It's the traditional Black men. It's the brothers who are regular, who are free and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And rightfully so, because if now Black women are complaining about niggas ain't shit, and then you have upwardly mobile, highly valued black men on the board, and they're not getting access to black women, like the broke nigga or the prison bit nigga or the jailbird, that is a problem. But you don't hear criminal niggas complaining about not getting boxed. You don't hear broke niggas complaining about not getting boxed. You don't hear players of max complaining about not getting boxed. But the traditional nigga complaining about not getting boxed. You understand what I'm saying? He said Tommy's spot on with that. And that is a problem in black culture and shit. Big problem. And it's not a problem on black men, it's a problem on black women. Because if black women keep picking the wrong type of dudes and then keep talking about how it's all of black men's fault or blaming all of black men and creating that narrative, then black men take the bad, then all of black men take the bad rep. Even though 61% of black women are pregnant and only 46% of black men have children. So 61% of black women have children, 46% of black men have children. 54% of black men don't have children. And I think 51% of black men are not married. See what I'm saying? So mind you, look at the Black Manosphere. Look at the black men on YouTube objectively. The men who are getting up here and they're making their honest complaints and critique about black women, they're not the gangbangers, the thugs, or the street niggas. Right? To Tommy's point. But they're making the complaint about it. Listen, I'm a state. If you look at the balloon pop show, look at the brothers that said them balloon pop shows, right? The brothers are upwardly mobile. They got shit going on for themselves. They're about their business. And look how black women treat them. As opposed to the prison niggas, the jailbird niggas, the scammers niggas, the players, and the Mac niggas. The player and the Mac nigga and the criminal nigga always get access to box. They don't have to, mind you, the criminal niggas don't have to do the same shit or perform like the traditional nigga is required to perform for black women, to get access to black women. And that's not the black man's fault. That's a problem with black women. So let's keep going into it.
Go ahead, he get a place to stay. They let this nigga live with them. He live in your house.
That's also a fact. Mind you, let me put my face up here. Mind you, fix my hat and shit. Mind you, the brother who's into construction and trades, the brother who's a bus driver. Mind you, a New York City bus driver can make up to $50K a year on average. MTA bus driver, right? So MTA bus drivers, they make good money, right? I think if they do overtime, they can make close to 6 figures or something like that. Black men who do constructions and trades, they're not able to get access to a black woman and be able to go spend night at her house or live in her crib. You don't even see black women bring them food or coffee or lunch or something to eat. And those black men, they're working hard to contribute to society. But now when it comes to the broke nigga, the bum, or the Pookie and Ray Ray, who's not doing nothing but fucking and getting her pregnant and making her life miserable, he get access to a free internet. He get access to her children's Cheerios and cereal. Money in his pocket. New clothes, brand new clothes, fresh clothes. For any of you black men out there who are into trades and constructions, name the last time your black woman bought you something to eat at your job. Name the time your black woman bought you some new boots. Bus driver. Name the time for the MTA bus drivers who's swerving that bus in New York and driving that thing. Name the time your black woman came to one of your bus stops and gave you lunch. But they'll do that for the Pookie and Ray Ray who not doing anything. That's a problem. That is a problem. Then y'all get mad at black men for dating outside their race. Because at least with the Becky and the Maria and the Luke and the Lucy Chans, they perform for their men. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go back to Tommy.
He got no job. He laid on the couch.
Okay. So I think the thing about it is that y'all are talking about desperate women. Women.
So this is what black women do. So every time you notice that a large majority of black women are in the game doing something, black women will give it your label. Like, you're talking about desperate women. You're talking about a certain type of woman. Apparently, it's a lot of types of black women that are dealing with a certain type of brother that's from the criminal element, but not the upwardly mobile brother.
Who date men in jail, who have fetishizes of like murderous men, and because there are women who do that. They date weirdos. They are also weirdos.
A lot of black women are dating weirdos. A lot of black women in black culture are dating weirdos. Jess, I keep telling you, Jess, she is this. I keep telling y'all, she's either this or this. One of these two. Between this one and this one. One of these two. Types of black women to avoid a traditional black man's guy. So, you feel me? Put her back up there.
Okay? But you cannot paint this picture. Like, every woman who is sane, every woman who is evolved, mature, and educated is sitting here pursuing men fresh out of jail. That is.
Yes, you can. There are a lot of college-educated black women who are working in corporate America dating some kind of low-tier black dude right now as we speak. They did a whole movie called Chirac where it showcased all that. Right? In the not a movie, a TV series called Chirac. In this TV series called Chirac, you have black women that were of high quality and high tier dating prison niggas, gangbanging niggas, and thug niggas. There was even an episode where one of the female characters, she was dating what we would call in black culture a lame or a nice guy. She rejected that nice guy, even though he treated her good. So
it's not.
And ultimately, that chick married a Pookie.
Happening. If all you know are these kind of women, then that's a different story. But we're hyper focused always on the hole, on the slut. Right before I went to get my snack, I heard Tommy talking about hoes lined up to fuck basketball players at games. Yeah, those women exist. But there's also a lot of women who don't entertain that type of stuff.
We always keep hearing that those type of women that don't entertain that stuff when they was young, and now that they become older and want to settle down, now they want to get the high value dude. So I don't know. There's too many women on the internet complaining about what the Pookie and Ray Ray didn't do. This is the flaw to Jess's argument, right? Let me put my face up here. To her argument, you have black women on this internet that follow Derek Jackson, Yada Awakening, and whatever that nigga name is on tonight's conversation, that claim to be upwardly mobile black women that work in corporate America, that are high value, that keep complaining about the prison nigga, the Pookie, the Ray Ray, and the dumb nigga that they keep running into and getting pregnant by or dating. So which one is it? And this is the problem with black women, because all of them change. With black men, you can see a consistent pattern that black women pretty much say similar shit. But black women, one black woman here will have one story to fit a narrative. The next black woman over here should tell a different story. So which one is it? Because when we go on YouTube, when we look on TikTok, when we listen to Yada Awakening and Derek Jackson talk, there's a lot of good women being fucked over by the Pookie, Ray Ray, and the dumb nigga. When we look at Cam Newton, the women that are pregnant by Cam Newton, are those hoes? What about the women who are pregnant by Nick Cannon? It doesn't. It doesn't make any logical sense. So let's get into it.
Yes,
But
can
hey,
you clarify?
so can we wait a minute? So can we find balance in the conversation instead of saying,
Let's get
"Oh,
the balance.
women think like this"? Because it's like, no,
Let's get the
we're
balance.
talking about a very specific kind of women. You're
Let's
talking
get the
about
balance. Yes, 1
hoes.
second.
and
It's
you're
fine. It's
talking
fine.
about
Yes, let's
weirdos.
get the balance. Let's get the balance, right?
I told y'all earlier you can't tell the difference between the hoes and the good women because they borrow game from each other.
I want Jazz and Alexis, right? Is that fair to say that most women might not be full-blown hoes, but in some point in their life, they engage in hoes activities? Is that?
Yes, that's very fair, Fatty. Remember, we had a slut walk. We had feminist movement telling these women to go do these things. And a lot of women have dabbled into that. Hoping, but now when it comes to Black culture and the Black community, Black women are used to getting quality Black men after they dabbled into their 3 or 4ism. Now they complaining because they don't have access to that anymore because Black men have, shout out to the Black Manosphere, woken up to that. So, no, Fatty is absolutely correct with that.
Fair to say in 2025 that the average age of marriage is 29, 30, 31. So this woman been single for 30 years. Is that fair to say that most women, they might not be full-blown hoes, but they at the time on their life between, I don't know when they start to 28.
Okay, yeah, sure. So,
into all activities.
okay, sure. So, okay,
Alexis,
so-
what about you, Alexis?
so
Huh?
Is that fair
is
to
that
say?
stopping you from anything? Why
No,
is
it's-
it, why are we
I
so
just-
obsessed with
No,
hoes?
no, no. Yes, you asked me to be.
Because most of you are hoes. And I remember a while back, you were shaming niggas for not picking women who Black women. Yeah, I was shaming Black men who weren't picking Black women that dabbled into that 3 or 4 lifestyle. You shaming them, talking about give them grace and shit. Why do Black women think we don't remember these times in history, bro?
Be balanced. I'm trying to be balanced, right? Alexis, do you confirm or you don't agree with that?
No, I definitely agree. It's especially too because I mean women call it their hoe phase, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Going around and like I said, good for your whole, not good for your soul kind of thing. It's like, and then you learn and you realize what you don't fucking want. What you don't want. Like it doesn't
Okay,
matter
so
if it gets you
So
wet.
you have
It
to
doesn't
go through a
matter.
whole phase to
It's
know
not
what you don't want.
worth it. What?
So Alexis, let me play these. This is the shout out to Coach Greg Adams. This is the video. Is the perfect woman love nice guys, and that's you. Okay, this is my favorite video to play. This is the Hall of Fame video, right? So Jess, both of you, Napa and Melanie, do you agree too that most women have O phases? Like most women might not be full-blown O's, but might have a phase where they engage in on O behavior. Can we agree with that, Napa and Melanie? What about you, Napa?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to listen to these, right? The difference between the guys that they really like and then the guys that, oh, and there's you. Let's listen to these.
And here's a secret that many guys don't know, especially in today's day and age, is that women love nice guys. We may not understand.
They love nice guys because nice guys don't have backbone and they can run over you. White men, this white bitch is, yo, these white bitches was fooling y'all, bro.
How much we love and appreciate them until we're a little older.
Ran through.
And we've gotten that sort of asshole phase out of our systems.
What?
I'd say by our later asshole them until we're a little older. And we've gotten that sort of asshole phase out of our systems. I'd say by our late 20s, early 30s is the point in our lives when we're just exhausted by
All the dicks you
jerks,
was
and
taking.
we have no time in our lives anymore for them. So we really
All the dicks you was taking and all the bitch niggas you was trying to follow that didn't work. So you exhausted from being a hoe. So now you think the nice guy is your fallback plan to save you from all the hoes all the dicks you chose to engage in. I mean, you could have followed the so-called nice guy from the beginning.
start looking for men who we know will be great long-term partners, aka nice guys, right? And that's you. And that's
It's disgusting.
I will play the.
Heard what she said? She said, nice guy, fit for a long-term situation. So after she was doing taking Dicks and Johnsons and sausages and all kind of shit in her late 20s, and she wants to settle down, she loves a nice guy because you know that the nice guy is into settle for the long-term relationships. Now, man, it's not wrong if you want a long-term relationship from a woman. It's who you give that. It's who you reward that situation to. If these women are 3 or 4s and they didn't qualify for that, those women don't qualify for a long-term situation with you. That's why you got to vet women properly and make sure that you have certain standards and certain things that you have in play. So now that when she's not aligned with them, you can dismiss her quickly. So there's nothing wrong with a man that want a long-term relationship, that's looking for marriage or anything like that. It's who you reward that with. Right? You don't reward 3 or 4s with that. You don't reward a woman with women who are disrespectful to you with that. You feel me? The black men especially, you gotta protect yourselves out here. Stop letting these women fool you.
How fucked up that is to hear.
This is ladies' first show.
Womanese. That was womanese.
This is ladies' first show, so we're going to give it to the ladies. Ladies, this is what all these gentlemen, like even Damien agrees that we're talking about, right? Is you will fuck the guys on your 20s that make you wet, and then when you need to settle down or to go ahead and do have a respectable life and a responsible life.
And the chick that they were taught that they had in the video, she didn't look like a hoe. She looked like the average everyday Becky.
You go for the guy that might not be your type when you were younger, but now he's going to be the one that is solid, has a nice job, is responsible, and all that. You are telling that most women are not dating exactly like this woman described. When they get tired of the assholes, I'm just exhausted of the jerks. So the jerk got you.
They all say that too. They'll all tell you, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yes.
They will talk about. Woman would literally tell you to your face how they used to do shit, and now they don't do it anymore. Imagine if a motherfucker told you, I used to drive my car through mud and dirt, and I would rent it out for $5, but now I know my car's real value, so I'm gonna sell it to you for $100,000. Just to hear that sale, you would say, I don't want it. But that's how women are selling themselves. They'll tell you how they hoard in college, how they had a one-night stand before, but I don't do that no more. I done found Jesus, and now you gotta wait until we get married to fuck. Wait a minute, it's niggas walking around the streets right now that's gonna laugh at me because I don't know what your head game feel like, but he do.
Yep.
That's why I gotta deal with that. And that's literally what men have to do. We could never tell a bitch, I used to pay these bitches rent and they didn't have to fuck me at all. Now you gotta fuck me and clean before I pay a bill.
And
imagine.
One second, because you can't get it. And that's the second icebreaker. Christian rock found the church. Oh, hallelujah.
Lord. So that's the exciting part. Okay.
They got this bitch preaching. You can't make this up. I did not see. Hold on. I want to show you. I'm going to show you. I have to remember to work with this. Look at this. Christian rock is now a bitch preaching at the church.
Okay, this is what the young people say. Oh, this is the Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 9. It said, young people, it is wonderful. Okay.
She ain't changed, bro. The Christian church and black culture, you don't even put these black women through a class, some kind of what you call rehab program where they have to study the Bible, study the books, dress modestly, read the shit, learn the actual game. Y'all just run them out there to preach. This bitch ain't changed.
This is the perfect segment, okay? And once again, ladies, I want you to engage. Let's start with Alexis, and Jazz on the corner, because Jazz is on the defensive position now. I see you, Jazz. I see you. Right? So go ahead, Ali, and then we're going to try to figure out.
I want to ask,
where is it wrong? Like, why are we
if
wrong?
Tommy is wrong, why did little Alexis say we don't pick we don't pick wrong? We're not picking wrong anymore. And Jazz said they evolved, they're educated and evolved.
Immature woman.
Yes.
So if you're so evolved and educated, and y'all no longer picking the wrong guys, what are the right guys you're picking now that you're evolved and educated and picking the right ones? What type?
And
of
that means that there was a phase in which they weren't. To be evolved, what does the word mean? I keep trying to tell people words matter.
Can you
to evolve? That means you came from somewhere.
Listen, y'all got it. You asked the question, Tommy answered. Let's move on.
Exactly.
No. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what I say that women are actually doing or feeling or responding to in these circumstances. Y'all gonna combat it every single way and say we're lying and say it's not true. And
yeah, but black men don't get the excuse that because of our circumstances we weren't taking care of our kids, or because of the circumstances we going to jail. We didn't get those excuses. Our charge was to step our game up and fix the issues we were dealing with.
Y'all used to be hoes. And it's like, you're right. You're right.
Tommy and Fatty and Damien.
Let's move on.
This happens.
I think you guys are absolutely right.
This happens in your household when they know they have to concede to the logical truth. When they can't process the information, they still want to continue to manipulate and play victim.
Exactly what's happening.
Down and go, I don't
Notice how men don't talk like that. We
I'm just saying, like,
agree with us. We just try to explain what we were saying.
You didn't Ali, you asked me. Ali, you asked me a question and Tommy answered it.
I didn't answer it, ma'am. I did not answer it. All I literally did was say evolve means something. At audience, did I not say that? All I said was evolve means something.
We don't even know the guy you talking about.
Motherfuckers.
We
answered it. Oh, I didn't.
So what was your question again?
Tommy commented, but we moved on. It's not that he answered the question, but he did make a comment.
Do the question again. Yeah, do the question again. It's fine. Do the question again.
So Tommy said, obviously, if you have a new type, it means you had a previous type. But now that you have this new type, hold on. Now that you have this new type, because Fatty talks about this all the time.
Can you ask your original question?
Y'all talking over me while y'all asking me to ask.
Yeah, Alexis. Yeah, Alexis.
Can I? No, because the thing is,
it's better now because you're closer.
I said you said y'all no longer picking the wrong. You said y'all no longer picking the wrong.
No, Alexis, put your earpiece.
That's what happens.
She's far away from the.
She's assuming something that wasn't happening.
That's called shutting down. It's shutting down.
I'm really interested in moving on with the conversation because we're not going to get anywhere, baby.
Give me 1 second. Ali, give me 1 second. Hey, Jess, I was talking with Ali about this the other day, right? There's like when we're having the conversation and we do something wrong, when we acknowledge that we're wrong, we stop there. You see what I'm saying? Let's stop here and let's acknowledge it. Your acknowledgement is a dismissal. Okay, you got it. Let's move on to the next one because we already got this.
I can see. You're right. Go ahead and ask the question again, Ali.
Yes, you're right. One second. This is one
you're
second.
Right. I'm fucked up.
1 second. You see, this is a teachable moment to the crowd, especially when y'all woman have men. Mm-hmm. We know when a woman is saying, "Okay, you got it." Is dismissive. I don't want to stay on this place that makes me uncomfortable. Let's move to the next conversation because I don't want to stay here and admit that I'm wrong. And I'm not saying once again, Jess, I'm saying that this is like it's a reptilian thing. It's like a survival mechanism for the most part. So when we're having these conversations, a lot of time people acknowledging and conceding is not conceding because they think the person is right. They're conceding because they want to move on and they don't want to stick there and then acknowledge it. That's why we said, just because you're saying, okay, I conceded, let's move on, that conversation, we go from there.
And try to learn from y'all mistakes, right? Teachable moment for
again, and then we go from there.
Right, and Jazz, plus it's a teachable moment for young girls just watching, possibly from mistakes that women made and try to learn from y'all mistakes, right? But
can you ask your question?
Yes, if y'all no longer picking wrong and you're evolved and educated, what does that look like? What type of man are you picking now that you've evolved and educated and no longer picking the wrong man? What is the type now?
Okay. That type will be someone who is mature, someone who's on his purpose, someone who also is dating with intention. He is looking to have a family. He wants monogamy because there are some men that do and do violence.
So that was a diss, first of all, right there. Most men want monogamy from black women. It's just that y'all punish them for it. Second, why weren't black women doing that? The same traits you expect of black men to have. Why weren't you not doing that when you were in your so-called whole phase? You could have been doing that yourself too, and you would have found a guy that you was looking for.
Value marriage and do value that. And this is just for me. This is what I mean. I have this already, but let's say if I was single, but that's what he would be consistent with himself, like whatever goals or personal goals that he has for himself.
So it's funny to me that black women, when they were dating and during the whole phase, they were insistent as fuck. They didn't have any purpose. They weren't dating with intentions. Yet now that they no longer being hoes, they expect a man to be all that. Even though she wasn't she wasn't being monogamous. She was going through a whole phase.
He's in constant pursuit of that. At this age, he has a foundation. He may be somewhere, good in his career, or he is excelling as an entrepreneur, or he just has he has a stable lifestyle.
None of those
right?
things y'all were doing in your whole phase. You weren't working to become that in your 3 or 4 phase. Most black women, when they go to college, they're not improving themselves to be of benefit to their men. They're doing that to throw it in black men's face. Yet they expect a black man to be all that so she can benefit.
He's enjoying life. He's following God. And that would be it. That would be it. He would have a different type of focus. That would be since I'm evolved, if I had that phase, that would be what I would be pursuing. I can't say that I had like a phase where I just was constantly choosing bad men, but I have been misaligned with men before, and going through those situations helped me to understand where I was lacking maturity, where I needed to hold myself accountable and say, you know what, this is not, if I want something different, I need to do better and choose better. And so what we do is we evolve, we learn from our mistakes, and we find, once we know what we want and what we're willing to give, we have a better view on what we want from our partners.
Okay. And now that, let's say we say, hey man, you're going to pick better now. You're going to pick the best guy, the most educated, the most purposeful. What is it that most women you believe, or what are you changing it about yourself to be the woman that this man wants? What did you work on yourself? So what is that you worked on?
Right. So my maturity, my emotional response in relationships, not taking everything so personal, not looking for a reason to be negative. Like whatever I felt I could have done better in my previous relationships, I assess that and I change it. You know what I mean? Maybe not just conclusions. I mean, I don't know. It's about self-reflection. Whatever it is that I could have done better in the last relationship, I make sure I change that for the next person, because I don't want to take any baggage or drama from the previous relationship. I'm not going to punish the new person from being hurt from the last, and I have been through situations where it could taint someone, you know what I mean? And be reckless in relationships moving forward. But I don't allow one situation to taint my view for men overall. So I'm going to move with love. I'm going to make sure that I hold myself accountable, and I'm able to, if I find that man, that I'm mature enough to not fumble the blessing.
Why didn't that? Yeah, when you was doing your whole phase, you was doing something wrong because you're doing your whole phase. Why couldn't you do all of that you said from the beginning instead of your whole phase? These women are lying to y'all brothers, bro. They don't deserve grace, and they don't qualify for the new brother. And she's just saying that this shit that's politically correct, or what y'all want to hear.
So you're conceding that you weren't a good woman as well. Most of these women weren't good women as well when they were dealing with these guys. If they have,
I'm sure there are times where women were not good partners. Sure, there have been times where I have not been a good partner.
Mm-hmm. But this is the thing that's just problematic
that's not
all the time.
Context Ali is talking about. The context Ali is talking about is women that were fucking with low tier men on purpose and being negative to the good dudes, rejecting the good dudes, being bitches to the good dudes. That's what Ali talking about.
None of these women said they're going to cook more, they're going to cooperate more, they're going to have sex more, they're going to improve their whole quality of a woman for this man they're about to get. It's always higher expectation, it's higher standards, and then when they can't find that man anymore, they still are complaining about the men. And they'll talk bad and they still bashing men. For instance, if you truly believe that, in my opinion, you would say, hey, ladies, it's the way you're picking these men. It's the man you're rewarding. It's the man you're giving your cat to. It's the man you'll won't give no attention to, because every time they trying to love you and settle down with you, you want to go after these men that don't even like you. So it seems like you're still pursuing these no good men, and you're still waiting for the high value guy that will actually pursue you. But most of those guys still won't, because you've already lost your value typically, and you don't want to go the extra mile. You don't want to compete, and you don't want to chase these men anymore that deserve chasing, because you already overlooked them. So if he meets you and go, hey, just accept me as I am. I did God's work. I'm in church now and I had therapy. I'm a good woman for you. Would you tell
which says nothing? That says nothing to him. None of that is performative. You want to go do the work to help yourself, but you didn't do the work. You didn't say, okay, cool. Me doing this work, this is helping me to be what does being a better woman to a black man look like? What's the performance in that? Because in order for a black man to be a better woman to a black woman, he got to perform. He got to protect. He got to provide. He got to produce, right? He got to be a good husband. You see what I'm saying? He got to take care of the kids, emotional intelligence, all that other shit. When it comes to black men, we got to perform and do. We can't just be a good black man. We got to do. What does a good black man do to benefit a black woman? When black women are talking about, I went to church and I finished fucking with the lame nigga, with the thug nigga, and I'm done with my whole phase and all that other bullshit. And now you go into church and turn your life over to God. How does that benefit a black man, the high value black man that you want to settle down with now?
Son to believe that.
I'm sorry, Ali. I kind of lost what you were saying. Y'all know I'm slow.
If you gave your best to the guy that didn't like you, how can we expect you to give your best to a guy you didn't even like, and now you've changed your standards for a different type of guy? Your type you gave your best to, and he didn't like you, and now we're supposed to expect that you about to give your best to a guy that wasn't even your type, that now you're going to settle with.
Mind you, you gave your best to a nigga that didn't like you, but you didn't give your best to the nigga that liked you. The nigga that liked you and wanted to be in a situation with you long term from the beginning, you didn't give your best to him, but you gave your best to a nigga that not only didn't like you, but was the thug, was the greaseball, was the pookie, was the... Mind you, black women are complaining about the pookies and ray-rays, and they're complaining about the consistent, constant, traditional dudes. And now, after you couldn't get the guy you like, and you gave him your best, now you want to give your so-called your refurbished goods or your refurbished best to the niggas you didn't like, and he's supposed to marry you off of that. He's supposed to settle for you. He's supposed to give you your best while you give him refurbished best.
So you're saying that I gave my best to the wrong person, so I shouldn't try to give my best to the right person?
How do we expect you? Most women typically don't. I'll give you an example how. On these balloon shows that Fatty was
showing. You shouldn't expect anything. Expectations always lead to disappointment.
On these balloon shows, on these balloon shows that Fatty be playing, most of these women already got 2-3 kids, about 2-3 baby daddies, and they need a childless man who has no kids that desires a family.
Facts. On these balloon pop shows, right? They're not putting high quality black... I don't know why they can't find them. They're not able to find high quality black women to put on these shows but they can find high quality black men to put on these shows. And most of the women that go on these shows, they're either got 2 kids from the hood, ghetto, you know what I'm saying? Talking about what kind of expectations they want on the dude, popping their balloon if they don't like the nigga, arguing with the nigga. But the black men that are going on these balloon pop shows, they have high quality, got college degrees, got trade skills, good standing. But you got low-tier black women that are on these shows with 2 or 3 or 5 kids that are trash. It is what it is.
Oh, I ain't having no more kids. So you gave the man that you didn't like, that was your abuser, that was a cheater, that was a liar, that was a broke man, your children, the best thing he can get is a family. And you meet this man, and they already got daddies, and I don't want any more kids.
Hey, listen.
The Russell Wilson in the Future situation. Future got the premieres, the baby and all that, and Russell Wilson has to be the stepdaddy and go to the church with her while she's working in front of everybody and all that shit. He's not getting the best of her. Future got the best of her.
Listen, nobody is putting a gun to y'all head to date single moms.
Russell Wilson and Sierra is the perfect example of why good men in black culture should not be rewarding Sierra or those type of women like Sierra. Russell Wilson should have never married her. He rewarded her 3 or 4, and that's the problem.
There are plenty of women out here without children. You do not have to play that role. If you do,
61% of black women have kids. 46% of black men have children with the 61%. So I don't know.
You just said though, you kind of moving the goalposts. You got to say so what they just said.
Wait, you said what?
You're moving the goalposts.
Move the goalposts again. On 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, push.
Okay, so you're saying we should stay on the topic of the woman that did have 3 or 4 kids, and now it's saying no more. There's literally
Tommy still has to prove himself. Damien,
no, you don't.
Yes, he do.
Fatty always has to prove himself. The worst of today's women literally would say, "I have nothing to prove to you."
The best of the best black men have to prove themselves to the worst of black women. I will say that again. The best of black men often find themselves having to perform and prove themselves to the worst of black women. Which in my opinion, is the majority of them. 61% of black women have children. By 46% of the black men. 51% of black men don't have children.
So it sounds good on the surface, but most of these women say, ladies, you have nothing to prove to these men, but you're supposed to prove to them that you're no longer the previous woman that you were years ago, and this new woman will do anything that it takes to be with the man that actually is attracted to her.
I agree with that, and I'm gonna break this down, right? See, I would have no issue with a black woman's past if she was willing to perform for the future man she want to be with. But that's not what they do. They don't perform. Or they're not consistent or constant with their performance for the new nigga, the best type of nigga. The reason why is because she didn't work to earn the best type of nigga from the beginning. Now she wants the best type of nigga. And mind you, I do agree they're good black women, but the good black women should have priority access to the best type of black men in the black culture, right? Now this bitch, black chick, who was the worst type of black woman in her beginning, didn't pick the right type of nigga from the beginning, wants to have access or priority access over the black women to the best type of black man. But she's really not willing to perform or do what she needs to do to qualify. This is the biggest problem in black culture right now when it comes to relationship. It's lopsided.
Because if you have to go and jump through hoops to prove yourself to somebody, that sounds like a misalignment in the first place.
There you go. No, it's not. It's showing that you're showing this person your worth. You're showing them that you truly will work for them.
No.
Yeah, let me finish that. Most of these men right here, the most attractive thing a woman can do is be vulnerable. It's to say I need you. It's to say I desire you. It's to say that I value you. Not to go, I ain't got to do the damn thing to show you my
Okay,
value.
that's different. Okay, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Y'all know I'm slow. I have poor comprehension skills. I'm a very dumb person. So just talk to me like I am the dumbass that y'all think I am, okay? So when I hear prove yourself, right? I hear I'm trying to show a person that isn't interested in me why they should be interested. What you just said was I'm showing up as the person that I am. I want to consistently show up for you because there is a mutual interest here. And based on how I show up for you, you're going to determine if I'm worthy to be with you or not, right?
Okay.
So
right.
if we're mutually interested, we're showing up for each other in the same way. We're making time for each other.
Yeah, but that's not what's happening, Jess. Black women are not making that effort. Black women expect black men to be performative and do all the effort and earn her box. But she was giving out her box in her old phase. She gave her best to niggas that didn't earn her or that wasn't doing anything. Now she wants to give her everything while still doing nothing for the new nigga.
We're consistent with each other. That's not proving yourself. That's us showing up for each other because there's mutual interest. When I hear
no, that is proven for you. When you have a mutual interest when a woman has a mutual interest in you, she's gonna prove herself to you. I don't know how Jess got a man or what type of man she got.
Proving yourself, it sounds like I'm trying to get this person to like me, even though he's not showing no interest. So that's where I got it confused. If that's not what y'all meant,
I'm asking, if I was a man, I just want to say, this real quick example, Fatty. If I say, hey, Jazz, I'm no longer interested in chasing a lot of women. I'm no longer a womanizer. I believe in God now. I don't put my hands on women anymore, and I'm not kissing any more dicks. Would you believe a guy?
I wouldn't have no interest in that.
That's my point.
So let me go.
You can't be kissing dicks around me.
No, but there's no teeth. And let me go. I just want to say something in
He
5 seconds.
put all that in there.
It's just a minute. Yes. I'll give you 1 second. Hey, Jess, this is what we're saying, right? Imagine that me, Tommy, and Ali are spenders. Since we were 18 to 31, we would flexing on women, having money guns in the cash apps, flying them out to Rio. All like every time you see us, we're spending money on the woman we're dating. And now you're my future wife at 31, and I say, I changed. Yes. I don't spend money on women anymore. So before you put a ring on my finger, I'm not paying for dates. I'm not paying. You are going to pay for my gas. You are you would look at that man crazy.
This is what black women are complaining about with black men now, right? But Fatty brought up is actually what black women are complaining about. Not exactly what word for word, but Fatty talked about, right? Remember, black men in black culture, because we didn't know any better, we were rewarding black women with traditional benefits, protecting, producing, and all the other stuff, right? So black men, we were meeting our expectations that black women were asking for. Now that black men are withdrawing their benefits from the table and the table itself, what are black women complaining about? Why these niggas not doing what they're supposed to be doing? Why they're not dating us? Why they're not tolerating the disrespect from us? Why are we not able to benefit from them? Black women are complaining about that now. This is why they didn't like the Drizzle movement. This is why they didn't like Kevin Samuels' high value man concept. Because black men started to put value in themselves and not benefit black women that didn't qualify. Because before that, what was happening? The black women that did not qualify for equality black men are complaining that those quality black men have withdrawn from dating them. So they can't benefit from them.
You'd say,
and I would have a choice if I want to deal with that or not.
No. We know, but what you'll do would be, hey, how do you do all these things for men that you claim you never like, for women that you claim you never like, sending cash apps, flying them out, giving expensive gifts, and me that's supposed to be the woman of your life?
No, the situation Fatty's talking about when black men are spending money on bitches or flying them out, he actually liked the bitch that he's doing that for.
Your wife, now all of a sudden, now you are penny pinching, and now you are a responsible fiscal man that doesn't even want to pay for dates. No, 1 second, Jess. All of women and men would be like, bro, are you serious? So you go spend all this money on these hoes and all this shit, and now the woman that is the mother of your kids or is going to be your wife, now you penny pinching. That will show that you actually are retracting the value that you have. You did all these things for these people, and all of a sudden,
what happens is that they'll shame black men for not being consistent and not performing or being selective with your performance, right? Because to Fatty's point, he's correct. My only pushback is now if black men were making that mistake in the past, right? Say like now he was dating 304s, so he was spending money on 304s, and he didn't know any better, and now he says he's going to be more responsible with that. Now, I kind of do agree. The only thing is that now black men are not saying they're not going to perform for the good woman that they find. They say they're going to perform for the woman that's performing for him, right? See, so no, let me explain that properly. So if there's black men out here in the game, and they have been what you call tricking, unbeknownst to them, to bad women like 304s or gold diggers and shit, he's not going to stop doing that. He's going to learn to find a better woman to do that for. But he's not going to stop performing or stop being consistent and constant with his benefits. He's just going to learn how to vet better women and find better women to perform, to get the value of his performance for. Black women don't do that. Black women will perform for the wrong type of nigga, and then when she wants to get the best type of nigga, she will withdraw her performance while that nigga has to perform to earn her, while she's not going to perform to earn him. After she done fuck with the dumb niggas, now she wants the best type of nigga, but she doesn't want to perform for the best type of nigga. That's the difference.
Special person, all of a sudden you are not bringing the same value. So it's just that just because you change and just because now you know better, that doesn't change the fact that all he's saying is that you gave the best of years of your life or the best ability you got to men that you claim you didn't like, and now I have to pay an extra price for something that is not giving me the same thing as those men got.
Okay, but I'm confused. Y'all saying, are we doing things for men we don't like?
Tommy, you can reply and then Tommy can get in and interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, I feel like y'all saying two different things. 1 minute is you doing it for people you don't like. Then it was you're doing it for people who were not good to you, right? So if I'm doing something constantly for somebody I don't like, I have a problem. If I'm paying cash apps, if I am buying gifts, and you just said I'm doing all these things for people I don't like, that makes no sense. No. Why would I? Wait a minute.
No, Jazz, 1 second, Jazz. You claim you don't like. You claim you don't like a baby daddy.
I claim I don't like these men, and I am doing things for these men. Something ain't right.
Yes, but that's the point. That's what we.
Black women, you claim you don't like these niggas. You say y'all make the statement that you don't like certain type of dudes, yet you do those things for those dudes you claim not to like. So it's either you're lying, or you don't know what the fuck you're doing, or you don't know how to choose.
We're saying if Prison Bay don't have to have a job and you are sucking his dick and going out with him and doing all these things, and then you meet the guy that is your husband and you say you have to have a job and have 6 figures and you have to be tall and you have to be responsible. What we're saying is that you are giving your best years to men that you claim you never liked and never did nothing for you, and now that you meet this guy that is capable, reliable.
Oh shit! I think Fatty froze at this point in his stream.
Yeah, I think he froze.
This is what he's saying, Jazz.
No, but wait, no. Before I forget this, wait, no, Ali, no, because I need y'all to understand how y'all are conflating two different concepts. If I'm doing something, doing something for somebody that doesn't like you is unrequited love, right? That's no. Okay. You're okay. Okay, but
Let me
wait.
just clarify so
also
you can
said-
respond
wait a
to it. Let me
minute.
clarify. Let me just
Wait,
clarify.
no. Because what
ahead.
he's saying is, I
So
was doing
respond to-
something for somebody that I claim I didn't like. I was doing something for somebody I claim I didn't like. I was doing something for somebody I claim I didn't like. That means something is wrong with me. Because why would I be doing something for somebody that
you like
I
him?
don't like?
Because you,
Because you are lying. Because
Jasmine,
you like him.
right.
You just claim means I'm claiming. Hey, Jazz, please.
When do I claim
Jazz,
that I
please,
don't like them?
Jazz, you have to listen. If you ask me, Fetty, do you like hoes? I don't love these hoes. And every time you see me, I'm outside with hoes, spending on hoes, taking picture with hoes, posting with hoes. I'm just claiming I don't like them, but I actually do. And then when my woman comes around, oh, I don't spend money
I got a
anymore
treat for
because
y'all
I
tomorrow.
changed. Wait, so you
make
spend
sure
money
y'all
on
tune
hoes that you
in,
claim you don't like, but
I'm going to
me
go stream
that you
around
say you like,
the same
me
time
that is the
around
mother of
7
your kids,
p.m.
me that is
I have a
going to be
treat
your
for you
wife.
tomorrow.
Now you don't want to spend money?
Make
That's
sure y'all like,
crazy.
share,
That's what
subscribe,
Ali
and
is
shut it
saying
down.
is
Yes.
you're going to give everything to these guys you say you don't like and that are assholes, like the woman says. And when you get exhausted of these jerks, now you go to a guy that you are willing to probably do half of the things you did just because technically and respectfully, the man that most women are.
Now that is the point. So black men, when you're vetting, when I tell black men, and I speak to y'all like I speak to myself, right? I'm not telling you guys to have game or to vet for the woman's benefit. I'm telling you to vet and have game to benefit yourself as a man, so you can protect yourself when you're out here, right? I'm not a dating coach or any of that. I have experience in certain things, right? This is why a relationship coach or dating coach would tell you, dudes, you got to have high standards when dating women, right? So to protect yourself and to make sure that that woman is being constant and consistent in her performance, right? I'm telling you, you got to give these women that you're dating a expectation for them to meet or a performance thing to meet to where they can perform. You got to vet them for performance. And that performance got to be something they have to do. They got to do if you're coming into the game to perform and perform your masculine duties, she got to perform her femininity too, and that has to be an expectation. And if she don't like that, she can't be around you. All right, so that's the thing that black men got to do. You got to vet with black women, or what you should prioritize is performance, right? So yes, she look good. Yes, she got a big booty. Yes, she got big titties. But can she perform as a feminine woman for you? And it has to be a big performance because you're performing big, right? So, because if you don't have a high performance standard for black women to perform to, they're gonna half-ass.
Most of y'all women married is not the man of your life. It's not the man that you think on the back of your head that you remember. Most of these men are security plans. Most of these men are retirement plans. They are not the genuine guy that you like. Oh my God, I still remember. And this is what we're saying. The good guy, the responsible guy, is getting the short end of the stick, while the guy that is popular, the guy that gets bitches, the guy that has money, is getting the best of you. That's what Tommy was saying. Tommy was doing.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, I'm not.
Yes, 1 second. Tommy was doing threesomes with a woman. She deemed Tommy valuable, so she did a threesome with him. And to the guy that she doesn't like as much, or she didn't business as well, I don't know, one night stands. Y'all are doing. You are doing like you are selling for the sick
Now
people.
with that, if women were being constant and consistent with their box, and just like you gave the nigga the nigga that you claim, the dumb nigga that you claim you didn't like, threesomes in box, and they were doing it for the best type of nigga after, I don't think most men would have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem. The issue is that you're inconsistent. You expect consistency and constancy, or a man to be consistent and constant with his benefits, while you get to be selective with your benefits. That's unbalanced.
and you are selling for the hospital. Like you are giving yourself to the sick people and then says, I don't like these people. I like the people inside of I like the ill people, the people in the hospital. You can be doing both, okay? Or you can be doing both, but if you do both, you have to claim both. Don't come around and say, I don't do that shit, when most of y'all either still doing it or did it at some point. Let's get Tommy, and then everybody has a chance to reply. Go ahead.
That's what I was saying. Men don't have that ability to sit up there and tout what we used to do for another woman or other women, and then tell this woman she should take less and give more. No one would listen to this, but men have to literally listen to this. And as Ali was pointing out, then the women, when they decide they have matured, then they'll talk about these other women who are doing exactly what they did and say, well, that woman hasn't matured. They haven't matured yet. Well, what are you talking about? She's doing what you were doing. So apparently all of y'all have to go through this stage. If it's that common that you can call them out, that they haven't matured yet, that is an odd thing that we can't talk about them now because, well, they haven't matured. We point them out and we see them, well, they haven't matured. Not that they're just doing something that seems to be very common. Then we talked about that word when you said prove. That's scary. When you hear women say certain things, she said, well, when I think of the word prove, I think it means you're doing something for someone that's just not interested. Shador Sanders has to prove that he can be the #1 quarterback for the Browns. He's not doing it for a team that ain't interested. My daughter had to prove that she could get a car when I got her a car, that she would be responsible. I wasn't not interested in getting her a car. Men understand that prove doesn't mean in any kind of way of the thing you're doing it for is not interested. I would prove to a woman, to me, I think that woman would be worth being with. If I had to prove to her that I was stable, that I was ready to be in a relationship with her, that I valued her, and that I could provide for her. Why wouldn't I have to prove that? As a matter of fact, before I suck your dick, Tommy, let me get that STD test. I'm gonna need to see it. That's proof. Oh, you weren't interested in me if I gotta prove it. But that doesn't make any sense. No one in the world thinks that that's what prove means.
And see, Tommy, I like what Tommy said, right? Because now you're only providing your masculine benefits, or proving your masculine benefits to people who are interested in you. So you're rewarding the women who are proving themselves to you too. And then the women who are not proving their interest into you or not interested into you, you don't reward them, right? With your masculinity. That's a good thing, because now the women start to see, okay, cool. If I'm not interested in this guy, he's not going to prove something to me, right? But then what also happens is that women tend to pretend they're interested in dudes, and that's what a lot of dudes. This is why the dating coaches will tell you how to vet women properly. You see if they're really interested in you, right? But yeah, that's a thing right there, right? You don't want to give your masculinity. You don't want to give out your masculinity to women that are not interested in you, because you're just rewarding women who don't qualify for you, if that makes sense.
But that's what the young lady just told y'all. When I told
you I'm the biggest dummy, so
I'm just saying. So you said
my
it.
comprehension skills are so in the gutter. So you're right.
I understand. So that's why I was speaking.
Right.
But you have to notice, when you spoke and were not having very good comprehensive skills, you got to do it.
I was displaying.
No, you got to do it. So now I'm cleaning it up. So I got better comprehensive skills. So person with less comprehensive skills than I got shouldn't be cutting me off. They should let me just speak, because your comprehensive skills ain't very good. So you shouldn't be saying nothing to somebody.
Slow again.
I don't have that problem, lady. So just mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself, miss. I don't know what prove means. Mute yourself. Jesus Christ, you get to be dumb, and then when somebody ain't as dumb as you, you keep talking. I didn't do that to you. Now let's go back. When we're talking about relationships, you hear this thing about women. Women don't change. They expect you to change, though. Women will bring exactly what they brought to everybody else. That's why when you hear them talk about men, it's the type of men, and these men need to be, evolved and be better. But like Ali said, well, they don't really tell you about what they're bringing or what they changed or how they've been different. And this is the place where you see it most, fellas. When young women give out they pussy to Tom, Dick, and Harry, then get older and now have become respectable and more evolved women because they pussy looking like roast beef meat now. They more evolved now. They didn't get mad at the dude who they ignored first, who was in his 20s with you. Now he's in his 30s and 40s. They online complaining, these men won't date women age appropriate. You ever notice that? See, they're complaining you don't want them now that y'all are still the same age in your 30s and 40s. But they keep forgetting that when they was in their 20s, they was just slanging their pussy and being irresponsible. Well, when I get in my 30s and 40s and I got money, like I am now, you know who I don't date? Motherfuckers my age. Do you know why? Because I can get a fresh piece. I can be the guy that you used to fuck. You used to go around, running around, fucking the older guy. Now your pussy old and you want me to sit in and take care.
This is a good point Tommy is making. A lot of the old bitches that's complaining about men dating the younger women, when those old bitches was younger, they weren't dating the men in their age bracket. They were dating the older niggas, which is this is why black women should not be dictating black men about any type of masculinity and how to operate, because they don't know how to operate themselves. The black women who are in their 40s and 50s, when they were in their 20s, they were not dating the 20-year-old men. They were dating the old niggas, especially the boomer women and the Gen X women. And now they're in their 40s. They want the black men who are in their age not to benefit the younger women like they benefited from the older dudes.
Like Fatty said, they want a retirement plan. They're not asking for the guy at my age now. They're not asking for the guy they was hot for. You know how many girls who, when I was in college or high school, that were not interested in me, who then came back to try and talk to me in their 30s and 40s, and bitch ain't shaped. I had them laughing the other night. I said, it's girls I used to want to fuck in high school that I wouldn't touch with a stick right now. I said, women age like milk. These motherfuckers is fat, several necks, several different kids, like a 40-year-old woman. It just ain't the lick. It just ain't the lick. So they get mad at men for saying, now that I'm in position to be just like the guy you wanted, which was wanted, valued, sought after. You know what I'm going to want? The same thing if you marry me, you going to want. Because I guarantee you ain't going to want that old ass car you driving that you got in a relationship with me in. I guarantee you ain't going to want that shitty purse you was wearing, those shitty shoes. You going to want to upgrade your car, upgrade everything in your life. That's what you think I'm supposed to provide for you. But I'm supposed to accept hand-me-down. I'm supposed to accept a car with so many miles on it I can't even get insurance. That's what I'm supposed to accept. Well, no, I'm going to go back and get me a young one. And that's why they're online complaining about men dating young women. Well, Shannon knew better than that. Well, when you was that age, you was fucking with a nigga that had money like Shannon. You was doing the same damn thing. When I was in high school, the chicks was fucking the drug dealers. The drug dealers was in their 20s. The chicks was in their teens. You hear the story from, what is the girl? I forgot her name. She married the coach and then he cheated. Well, I forgot what, Nia Long. She said she was 15 with a 30-year-old boyfriend.
I did not know that.
15 with a 30-year-old man breaking your back out.
I think Nia Long, if I'm not mistaken, Nia Long is a Gen X. A lot of Gen X black women was doing that. They were 15 years old dating a 30-year-old nigga. So
then when you get 30, a 30-year-old man supposed to want what all those men who were older did. That is a problem because it's hard to talk to women. And just to wrap that part up, one thing that I noticed that when you're having a conversation with a lot of women, not all, is they do this. They play the game between general and specific.
Yep.
When you're talking about something in general, they'll make it specific. I don't do that. My friend don't do that. They'll make specific. When you're talking about something specific, they'll make it general.
General.
That's how they play the game of we're never on the same page, because you'll say something specific, they'll bring up in general. You'll say something in general, They'll say, I don't do this. They'll make it themselves. I live in Atlanta. What y'all know about Atlanta? Just off the top of y'all head, what are your thoughts of Atlanta? Niggas gay, bunch of HIV. You think I sit around arguing, but not me? When they say them niggas in Atlanta gay, I say, I understand what you're saying. Them niggas in Atlanta is gay. I'm in Atlanta. I've seen these niggas. Why am I act like that don't exist? It should be the same way when we're talking about in general about what women do. Even if you don't do it or you believe your friends don't do it, you know a motherfucker who did it. You know a lot more who did it than who did it. So when a person is saying the idea of bust down or relationship, unless you've only seen one dick in your lifetime, unless if you're dating for a purpose, like the word these women love using, then what the fuck was the purpose you were dating for if you still ain't married?
Ooh. And I gotta expound the fact that what you just said. I realize now more than ever.
Phase. That's what their purpose was. Their purpose was the whole phase and being wild and for these streets. That's the purpose. But all of a sudden now, they want a man whose purpose is godly and traditional and performative to benefit them.
And I love Tommy. I love when certain people like Fatty, that type of person, you that type of person, you start learning more when we have these conversations, listening to the sisters, right? When the sister said, I've matured now, it's actually hating on a woman and a man. She don't want him because he don't want her, and she don't want other women to get him because she can't get him anymore because she's aged out of that lane. She can only be with that new type if he brings something to the table, but she want the man who didn't know she was a hoe or will accept she's a hoe. And how we know that? How we know when we lying? And Fatty, all of us know it. Ew, he light skinned. Ew, he an NBA player. Ew, he think he's somebody because he got money. Ew, he think he's somebody because he look good. Ew, he's a womanizer. They still like that guy. They just can't get him anymore. So when they say they matured, they have to make this is what Fatty was trying to tell Jazz. When you like a guy, Jazz, he doesn't have to do anything. But when you don't like a guy that you got to settle with,
you a goddamn lie.
Let me
damn lie.
You can get after I finish.
You're a goddamn lie. And that's another thing. That's another thing. Let
me finish. It's just like if I like big titties and big booties and them women been giving me problems, now I go, you know what? If I'm gonna settle with this woman, she better be able to cook. She better be able to clean. She better be able to cooperate because I let this other woman do whatever she wanted to do with me. If I was the women is the same way. The guy you let that you actually like, you'll let him lie to you. You let him abuse you. You let him cheat. You let him do whatever he wants. Now this guy, you say I like him. I've educated. I'm evolved. I know how to pick better now. But he better have money. He better come with a certain height. He better come with a certain stature. He better be educated too. He better have all these things that I need from a man that I don't like. He better bring something to the table the same way man asking a woman to come to the table. Y'all don't really like these guys. Y'all like the guys y'all let treat you any kind of way, because if you actually like them, he wouldn't have to do anything to get you.
That's so untrue. Can I respond, please?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like
uninterrupted. And please, once again, let me just say something.
I think that's something serious right there. If women liked you for who you were, you didn't have to do shit. You didn't have to perform nothing. They just like you for who you are. You wouldn't have to have money. You wouldn't have to have six figures. None of that. You could just be you. But that we know that's a lie, because you still end up having to perform for them after that. You still gotta be able to have money, protect, provide, and produce for them. That's how you know they don't like you. Because if they actually liked you for who you are, you wouldn't have to do anything. You just be yourself. You just give them a conversation. You wouldn't have to take them on a fancy date. You wouldn't have to spend a dime on them. But like said in this fatty stream, the niggas that black women like, who they complain is bad for them, they don't have to do anything for their attention. But the niggas who are about their business, who got their shit together, they gotta perform. They're expected to perform for bitches who are not interested in them. And black women want black men to do that. And now that black men are not doing that, because black men used to do that. Black men used to perform for black women who didn't like them and were not interested in them, because black men were conditioned or socialized to pick black women or to give black women grace or to be race loyal or because we're all black. And this is I have to settle for a disrespectful black woman. He was conditioned to be that way. And now that black men have broke that cycle, black women are upset about it. This is why we're having this discussion. Because the black woman who don't qualify for a quality type of black brother, she does no longer have access to him so easy. She now has to perform. I'm glad this conversation was had. Sorry for the camera shaking. Was had on Fatty's channel. Shout out to the Untouchables. The conversation needs to be had because that's a core problem in black culture that has to be addressed. Black women who don't qualify should not be getting the best type of dudes because all they're gonna do is fuck up that man's life, and we're gonna blame the man for that instead of blaming the bitch for fucking up his life.
1,100 people watching. Thank you very much for the support lately, being excellent. Please like the video. The likes are for free, and support the show, please. I appreciate that. I'll read the super chats when we go to the main event. Thank you very much to all the guests that started the show and the guests that joined later. I truly appreciate you. All their links is going to be on the description, okay? Shout out to the Untouchable Empire. Go ahead, Jazz, please, uninterrupted. And
give me my credit.
So,
hey,
I find
give me my credit.
Thank you, Tommy, for the pre-recorded videos. We had hey, Tommy, we had 900 yesterday.
And I know, but think about it. What was it when I came in here?
Tommy, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being here, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I love helping out my people, and I love seeing that lady in the middle with them big old breasts. She could get over a lot. How you wear a full shirt and still got a nigga over here sweating, Miss Melanin?
Ew.
Now you got all that titty. That's ridiculous. It's covered and the nigga still talking about some wear a bigger shirt. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Jazz, go ahead. Jazz, uninterrupted, please.
Weirdo. So the idea, I don't know where men get the idea that when and like I said, there's always, when I hear these conversations, which we're constantly having every single week, every week is a regurgitated talking red pill manosphere. It's like nobody's thought is of their own. It's just the same thing. But to the topic of like, if you like a man, he ain't got to do nothing. Who told y'all that? Who are y'all letting y'all believe that just because a woman thinks a man likes her, that he don't have to show up for her in no kind of way, shape, or form? I don't get that. Like, just because I like you doesn't mean that you are allowed to treat me like shit. Doesn't mean that you're allowed to disrespect me. Doesn't mean that you're allowed to not show interest in me and expect me to still show up and show interest in you. This is I feel like
that is what black women expect of black men. Black women expect black men to perform for black women who don't like them, who are not interested into them, and shame them into do it. Black culture socialized black men to do that crap. And then hiding it behind giving black women grace and race loyalty and all that other bullshit.
Delusional topic that men sit amongst other men and tell themselves instead of actually listening to women, because like I said, there are women who appreciate that type of nonsense, who like the men that show no interest at all. But when you are an adult, a mature person, you're not going to allow someone that you like to treat you any old kind of way.
Can I ask you a question?
Can I finish, Fatty? Or
yes, and no, I just want to no, and I'll pass you the microphone. It's for you.
You know what's so funny? They don't give black men that excuse. If a black man is in a situation with a black woman that he likes and she disrespects him and she treats him bad or whatsoever, they'll tell that black man it's his fault because he picked wrong when he chose the wrong bitch. But he liked that woman. He didn't. We don't make that logical excuse, or we don't give black men that grace or that leeway to say, well, I like this woman, I was interested in this woman, I was attracted to this chick, and she played me. We'll say that the black man picked the wrong type of dude, the wrong type of, excuse me, my bad, pause. We'll say that, let me say that better, right? If a black man is dating a black woman and he likes her and he's treating her good, and she plays him for a sucker or, runs game on him and play him. Black culture, including black men and black women, will say, "Well, you picked the wrong type of chick, nigga." They won't give him. They won't say, "Well, just because the dude liked you." They won't say, "Well," they won't say to the chick, "Well, just because he liked you and he treated you good." Let me think of this properly, right? Because just because a black woman doesn't like a black man, she didn't have to run game on him. She didn't have to play him. She didn't have to do any of that, right? She could have just told him she's not interested and left him alone. But nobody holds black women up accountable to that. They just blame the black man for picking wrong. Well, he liked that woman. He was interested into that woman. But we don't get that excuse that Justice just talked about just now.
No, Jazz, I don't want to stop you talking. I want to pass you the microphone. It's a question for you. Like, it's actually a question. Have you ever had a friend that was being abused by her man and she came to you crying and you told her exactly what she needed to do, and as soon as you turn your back, she went right back to the burning building and wait, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, have you ever had a friend like that?
Yes.
Can I say multiple?
No.
Okay, so we are men. Usually we are Damien can talk about this, Tommy can talk about this, Ali can talk about this, probably Melanie and Apa. Women have this tendency to come to us when their man is there, abusing them, cheating on them, crying on our shoulder and all that shit, and 2 weeks later, they are with the same dude. You know why the same with dude? Because they like them. That's all that is. So what we're saying, Jess, to you is, when we say the man, I know it's for you. Jess, go ahead on the monologue. Jess, I'm literally talking to you and saying you can go next.
Go ahead.
That's Jess. You know, it's funny.
I was literally in the middle of saying, and you had your hand up ready to cut me off before I could complete my thought.
Okay, so we don't have to talk with each other. It's only monologues. You got it. I apologize.
No, it's not. I just wasn't finished with what I was saying.
I forgot it was ladies first. You got it. I'm going to.
It's never ladies first. No. The men dominate this conversation every week.
Yes, it's just that. You know what?
It's about them every week. But it's cool.
You know what? I apologize for wanting to talk with you. Go ahead.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just that I want to complete my thought before I forget it. And you're asking me something else. I
already apologize.
I was talking about the aspect of believing that you can treat a woman that you think likes you or you like them any kind of way, and she'll just allow any type of behavior because she likes him. Some immature, insecure, desperate women, maybe, but women of a certain standard that I think every man on this panel is deserving of, I don't think will tolerate that. Now, as far as a woman going back to her abuser, that's a whole different conversation. Statistically speaking, a victim of DV goes back to their abuser at least 7 times before they finally leave. It's a deeper rooted psychological thing that happens when you're in an abusive relationship. And I have definitely been in situations with a friend who kept going back to her abuser, and I had to tell her, if you're not going to leave this man, please stop calling me in the middle of the night. Please stop getting me involved in this, because obviously there's something there that you're not ready to let go of. You do have to set that boundary. Please start being back.
I already apologize.
I was talking about the aspect of believing that you can treat a woman that you think likes you or you like them any kind of way, and she'll just allow any type of behavior because she likes him. Some immature, insecure, desperate women, maybe, but women of a certain standard that I think every man on this panel is deserving of, I don't think will tolerate that. Now, as far as a woman going back to her abuser, that's a whole different conversation. Statistically speaking, a victim of DV goes back to their abuser at least 7 times before they finally leave.
So are those same women the desperate women that you're talking about, or is that statistic in general? Because I know that's that. She's not lying. Hold on, let me see. Go to chat GPT right quick. Is there a statistic that shows when it comes to DV of the woman going back to the person that's abusing her after she leaves? Is there a stat that shows that? So let me share this tab right quick. Many women leave and return to abusive relationships multiple times. One widely cited figure is that survivors leave and come back an average of 7 times. A survey of 844 survivors reported an average of 6.3 cycles of leaving and return. What does 6.3 mean? Like, come on with the stats, bro. Of leaving and returning before permanent separation. Approximately 75% of women who go to shelters return to abusive relationships, and many of those will return to the shelter again after another episode of violence. In another study, 48% of the women exiting the shelter reported being re-abused within 6 months. However, 3 years post-shelter, 81% did not return to the abuser, though 19% reported being assaulted and 22% harassed by the abuser. Shelter residents and multiple returns. In a study of 104 women at a shelter, 66.3% reported having separated and later returned to their abusive partner at least once. And among those women, 91.91% had left and returned multiple times. So, ChatGPT, can you give me the raw numbers that these percentages represent out of the female populations? And more specifically, after that, give me the Black female population if you can find the stats for that. Look at this. Yes, there are well-documented statistics indicating that many women return to abusive partners multiple times after leaving both and beyond shelter settings. The average number of attempts ranges around 6 to 7, and rates of re-abuse within 6 months post-shelter can be as high as 43%. Yet even survivors themselves may underestimate their risk of returning in the future. So this sounds like a lot of women doing this, Jess. So it's not a specific type. It's not a desperate type of woman. Let me see if this could let me see what ChatGPT. See what ChatGPT is doing is it searches the web for things, searches the studies. Raw numbers from key studies: women returning to abusers, shelter residents, Houston, Texas community cohort, 24-month. Damn, this gives detail. 76 of 300 women, 25.3% returned to abuser within 2 years. Women exist in shelter 6-month follow-up. 61 of the 141 reported re-abuse 6 months later. Women 3 years after shelter. 120 out of 124 did not return to the abuser. Right? So this is breaking down the different shelters. And it's giving you the sources too.
No battery. No battery. No battery.
40% of the 366 respondents said they would turn to an abuser. That's 147 out of 366. Jeez. There's no single national representative use percentage for women who leave and later return across the entire population. Most figures come from shelter or justice involved cohorts. Okay, so it's not giving you it's not giving you the population, right? All females in the United States, that's 168 million. As of July 1st, 2022, latest official census, right? States is 21.1 million. Give me a rough scenario. Give me a rough scenario estimate. So this is the rough estimate based on the shelter numbers, right? So this is 3 million black women might return. This is a rough estimate. So, Jess, what are you talking about? Clearly, according to these statistics, there's plenty of black women that's doing this. Let me go back to what Jess is saying right quick.
It's a deeper rooted psychological thing that happens when you're in an abusive relationship. And I have definitely been in situations with a friend who kept going back to her abuser, and I had to tell her, if you're not going to leave this man, please stop calling me
I think she's lying. She did that whole eye roll shit
in the middle of the night. Please stop getting me involved in this, because obviously there's something there that you're not ready to let go of. You do have to set that boundary, but I'm not going.
I just showed you that multiple women do this, right? So that goes back to what Fatty and Tommy is saying. Black women are returning, women in general, and specifically black women in general, objectively, or keep returning to the niggas that are bad for them, but you're not picking good dudes. It goes to their point.
I'm going to say that she likes the abuse, because I understand that abuse is psychological and it's harder than you think to just up and leave an abuser. So that's different. But even if it's not physical abuse, like mental abuse, there are some women, like y'all say, that love assholes so much that they think being disrespected and cheated on and hit is a form of love. Right, so it's a problem. It's a problem all across the board. But that's all.
One second, because and Jess, you see, you said the same thing you said before, and now you pass me the microphone to say the same thing I told you before. The only difference between a victim leaving or staying is if she likes the dude. Y'all leave when you stop liking him. That's all it is. I like him, I go back. I love him, I go back. I like him, I don't go.
I just said that.
I don't see. Oh, can I talk now? No, a second. Can I talk now?
I just said that.
No. Can I? But that's the thing. Is liking or not liking? A woman will sleep on barbed wire with you if she likes you. Yep. A woman will leave you in a mansion if she doesn't like you. Yes. You can legally be Tom Brady. If she stops like you, she going. You can be the bummest motherfucker on the planet. She will sleep on a cardboard with you if she likes you. This is what we're talking about. Yes. The only difference is not abuse. Is not is literally this. Women don't care about right or wrong. If they like you, they're going. If they don't like you, they leave. Yep. So it's liking. Yep. That's the difference. That's why your friend keeps going back and calling you, because she's fighting between her cognitive brain. This is dangerous. I should leave this shit. I should leave, and their feelings.
But I like him.
Let me go.
Okay, it happens.
Jazz. Were your men all good? Were your men all good men? Every man that you ever dated, were they good men?
Yeah.
They were all good men?
Yeah.
Did you, in any of those relationships, did you stay longer than you should have? In any of those relationships, did you stay longer than you should have?
Yes.
Checkmate.
What did you check?
He said that if you were saying they were all good and you said you stayed longer,
then you should have. You said you stayed longer than you should have.
Just because they are, you tolerate. We just had this conversation.
You tolerate things you did not like because you liked them.
You felt they were good, yes.
They were good, but they were just not. We were just not good together. Why didn't you leave?
Why didn't you leave? Oh no! Why didn't you leave on the first instance of a red flag?
Because perhaps I didn't have the confidence to do so. Perhaps I was desperate. Perhaps I wasn't mature enough.
There go
like
those words.
Because you like him.
You like him.
Those words.
Or because there were other things about the relationship that I liked more and was willing to accept the bullshit.
Yes.
Longer. Yeah, that happened.
Did you leave all your relationships? Did anybody ever leave you?
Anybody left me?
Never.
Never.
These are things one would have to think of.
Never left.
How many Negroes did you date if you got to think of it?
They've never left.
Never.
No matter how many Negroes would you have had to date
In high
if you have to think of
In high
that anybody
school.
leave you?
You had
No. In high school.
But in high school doesn't matter because he was immature.
Shout out to
Buckle up,
Pal.
everyone. It's time for some super chats.
I don't understand why that was such a gotcha moment. Like
This is
like
He
human.
was a joke, Jazz. Hey, Jazz, you know what's funny, Jazz? I will tell you this in front of everybody, Jazz. Jazz, we like you so much for being here. We like play with you. We like trying to be. Jazz, he's not like. Jazz,
No,
like,
I'm not tripping. I was just confused on why that was like a gotcha, but it's like that's life. Did y'all marry the first woman y'all penetrated?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so that's life.
It's not the same though, but it's not the same.
It is the same.
Yes,
It's not the same.
All the men on this panel probably stayed longer with a woman than they should have because
Yeah, we ain't lying about it.
Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
the difference, man. We're not lying about certain shit. Like we will admit that, yo, we was with a raggedy bitch because we liked the bitch, nigga. We felt the bitch. We try to make it work with a bitch that didn't like us. We admit that. That's the difference. Men are not lying about our fuck shit.
That happens. That's okay. You learn, you grow, you evolve. You don't do it anymore.
But the difference is that men are not stopping. As I said earlier, men don't stop performing. They just find a better bitch to perform for. This is the difference. I'm gonna say it again. Men don't stop their performing. They just learn to pick a better woman to perform better. That's gonna perform for him like he's performing for her. Women will perform for the worst type of dudes and then stop performing for the best type of guy. That's the difference.
Yeah, but there's
What is the point?
There's no point. Let's read the super chats.
I was just, I stay. I know.
Hey, Jess, can you say checkmate? Checkmate.
No.
Damn, it's crazy. Adios mio. Misty Blue with the one untouchable membership. Thank you very much, Misty.
Untouchable Empire, baby.
HQ in the building saying we might as well give up if one of the most beautiful black women in the world can't keep a man. All of us ugly women need to do what we want, because it doesn't matter. Thank you very much. We have Sun Keys saying, Shalom, brother Fatty. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Sun Keys. We have Sun Keys back again saying, Shalom, shalom to Ali. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. We have Carl Anderson with 5 untouchable memberships. Thank you very much, Carl. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I believe that there's multiple so-called black leaders who believe that they are untouchable.
The untouchable Empire, baby.
Thank you very much. We have Valerie in the building with 2 $10 balls. I appreciate you, Valerie. Thank you very much.
Let's go. We got $10.
Sir, do you have any change?
Nah, motherfucker, I'm broke.
First she says, hello, Fatty, and then she says, hello, Ali. I appreciate you, Valerie. Was a sponsor of the show yesterday with $450. Thank you so much, Valerie. And thank you very much, HQ, for letting yourself get beat up. You deserve that. Thank you very much. Maurice is in the building and he says, oh, what did he say? He says, Superman was undercover. People didn't know him. People didn't know who Bruce Wayne was too. Bruce Wayne was not known as the Batman. He was just a rich millionaire. David is in the building saying, woman love us assholes because I've had way too many women for anybody to tell me different. Does my name, Davis Johnson, the asshole. Thank you very much, sir. We have JP City, $5, says, Women break rules for the guy they want. They only have rules for simp. That's crazy. KLD, just with the support. Thank you very much for the $5, sir. I appreciate you. We have another one from David. He says, fellas, let her choose you. We have Dirty South in the building. Uh-oh.
This bug life bitch keeps popping up everywhere.
It's time to
It's time to
everybody adjusted their cap for whatever they did. Look. What you guys trying to do, friends? We better relax. Yeah, say hi. Yeah, say hi, Tommy. Wave.
No, I'm saying bye. I'm saying I'll talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all on the flip side. I enjoyed being here, though. It was a wonderful time. Thank you to everybody on the panel. You guys
thank you very much for being here, friends. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Man, Tommy running for tyranny. Rage quit. Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, so I'm going to now go into this. Not this, my bad. Going to this right here. So this is going to be the meat of my show. Men's performance is non-negotiable, right? Go through it. Men's performance is non-negotiable. A man has to consistently prove his value, protect, provide, produce, have a purpose in order to deem worthy of the best type of woman. That expectation doesn't change, no matter a man's background or what stage of life he's in, right? This is what I said earlier, right? Like, or what they were discussing on the panel, right? You could have been a bum. You're still charged with the duty of performance for the best type of woman. You could have been dating 3 or 4s. If you want to settle down and get a wife now, you still got to perform and be the best, right? Women's selective standards. Many women don't actually require that same performance from all men they date. When they're younger or less disciplined, they'll give time, intimacy, and loyalty to the men who don't meet those traditional standards. Guys who are bums, pookies, ray-rays, or trailer trash types, right? The double shift. Once those relationships fail, and she feels like she's learned her lesson, she suddenly raises her standards, but now she expects a traditional man to set up the platform, step up and perform at the highest level, even though she never demanded that from the men she actually chose in her past, right? See, it's one thing if women were demanding from the men they like to step their game up and perform, that'd be one thing, but they don't. It's the niggas they don't like that they expect to perform and step up their game, which is very inconsistent of women. So the hypocrisy is men have to always meet the bar to even be considered. Women often don't hold all men to that bar until later on in life, when they've already given their best energy, youth, or loyalty to the men who weren't held accountable to that standard. This creates resentment because traditional men are being asked to pay for the price for mistakes those women made with men who never had to prove anything, which is the core argument that Fatty's panel was making, and a lot of black men are making, or finally speaking up about. Forgiveness versus standards. I'm not saying women can't make mistakes or that men should never forgive them. The issue is that some women don't, or most women don't give the same performative energy, femininity, loyalty, effort, nurturing to the very men they demand performance from. That is the problem. It's not about the forgiving of you part. It's the problem is that you're not performing your duties as a woman to that man you expect to perform his masculine duties. The imbalance. Traditional men are expected to perform first, protect, provide, lead, purpose. Meanwhile, most women will withhold their part of femininity, loyalty, nurturing, until the man proves himself. This creates an unfair one-way street. The man is working, investing, and showing standards up front, while the woman is waiting to see if she'll deliver hers, right? This is the game that black women were playing on black men. Black men, she had to date a nigga 90 days, and 90 days, this nigga had to be consistent, and then she'll give him whatever. Then she'll prove, which is the wrong thing. Which is what black men are waking up to now. Black men are saying, well, wait a minute. You expect me to do all this for you in 90 days in hopes that you might like me, in hopes that you may pick me. But meanwhile, you're doing what you're doing in your whole phase. All right. Selective femininity. Women will freely give their femininity attention and loyalty to men they're attracted to, even if those men don't meet the same high standards. But when it comes to the men they claim they want, the traditional high standard man, they raise the bar and flip the burden entirely onto him. The hypocrisy. Men are allowed to scale back based on past choices. A man can't say, I used to take 3 or 4s on dates, so now I'm taking regular women on dates anymore. So now I'm not taking regular women on dates anymore until they prove themselves. So that society doesn't let him do that. But women are allowed to say, I used to give bums, pookies free access to my time and body, but now I only act feminine and loyal if a high value man jumps through hoops first, which is what basically Patty was saying and the panel was saying. This is the problems that it causes. Power dynamics. This inconsistency gives women leverage because they control when and how they reward men with femininity. And if a man resists, he's demonized as a villain or not real, while selected double standard goes unchallenged. So, Fatty, this is the reason why women play that game, right? Tommy Sotomayor, this is why they play that subjective or specific versus objective or general. It's because they get the power in their leverage. Women get the power in playing that game. And they don't want to get rid of that leverage. And when you don't play, but see, the only way they can get leverage is if you play the game with them. But now that you're not playing the game with them, they don't have the power to leverage, which is why they're complaining. You know what I'm saying? This is why they shame black men for dating outside your race or picking better black, or they shame the black women who want to prove themselves to a black man or perform for a black man as a pick-me, right? So logically, my logic is basically men must be consistent across the board. Women get to be inconsistent based on what benefits them. That's asymmetry. Asymmetry is never addressed because it keeps women in the power seat, which is why, for all you niggas on the internet that agree with women doing this, you don't check the women, you give them a power. You don't check this. You give them a power over the men. Men's consistency versus women inconsistency. Men are expected to always be consistent, protect, provide, and pursue. Society never tells men you can't hold back your value depending on who you're dealing with. Women, on the other hand, are allowed to adjust their standards depending on the man. They'll give their best femininity, loyalty, and intimacy to a man who hasn't earned it, right? But when it comes to the high-value man, suddenly she closes shop and raises the bar, right? The rewarding of bad behavior. Because men are expected to perform regardless, many men end up rewarding bad women with time, money, energy, and attention. So let me refinish reason. This creates a market imbalance. Good women see bad women being rewarded, and they think, why should I do better if the bums are winning with no effort? That weakens women's incentive to truly compete in femininity, loyalty, or long-term partnership. So let me further break this down. When you keep shaming men to keep performing or be consistent in their performance to all women across the board, whether they're 3 or 4s, ladies, and good women, you're rewarding the bad women with the same type of energy that you reward the good women with. And that, so yeah, when y'all do that, y'all play to this everybody's equal shit. Everybody's not equal. Every black woman is not a damn lady or a good woman or traditional chick. You got black women who are hoes, street bitches, city girls. And when you tell black men to perform for all women because all of them are equal, he's now going to reward the city girl the same type of time and attention and traditional energy that he's supposed to reward the good woman and the lady with. Now, we're not telling black men not to perform, right? He's just that he's not supposed to perform the energy for every woman. He's supposed to only perform that energy for the good women. Right? The only thing is that the logic of the panel was that you cannot tell black men to perform. If he was performing for 3 or 4s, he cannot now come back to the game and say, now I'm not going to perform for the good women or the ladies. No, What should have happened was he should have only been performing or given his traditional masculinity to the good women and the ladies. But in Black culture, we expect Black men to do this for all women across the board. And then we wonder why we have these problems. Because Black men are rewarding the bad women with the same type of energy as the good women. And then the good women don't compete. They don't step their game up because they're saying, well, shit, if you're going to give the hoe or the 304 or the street bitch or the city girl the same type of energy, what am I competing for? And she don't step her game up to be different. She stays on the same level as the hoe. This is why we can't tell them apart, because both of them borrow from each other. Nobody's trying to step their game up. This is why I don't like communism and Marxism, because it teaches Black community to stay standard or stuck in the same box instead of having a hierarchy or structure of hierarchy in it. This is the problem it causes. This is why Black men pick the wrong bitch all the time, because we teach Black men to see all Black women the same. You know what I'm saying? Men pulling back, not especially in Black culture. More men are saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not rewarding dysfunction just because I'm a man, which is what I mean in that line, right? In Black culture, a real nigga or a real Black man is a Black man that pick a Black woman that's being disrespectful, being rebellious, being a 304, being negative. That's considered a real nigga because he gave that bitch grace. When you tell Black men to do that, you're telling Black men, or you're shaming Black men into rewarding bad Black women, like I said earlier. Right? And instead of women reflecting on the double standard, they get angry at men for withdrawing, and even enlist other men to shame them for not playing their role. Right? But the very act of a man approaching DMs, dates, initiating conversation, is already him offering value, his time and attention. If he keeps doing that indiscriminately, he's stuck in the same cycle of rewarding women who don't deserve it. So to Ben, you can't complain about the 304s or these women that have an ego if you're in these bitches' DMs all the time. If you're in the Instagram thoughts DM or you're in the 304's DM, you're now rewarding those women with your time and attention. And then you're in these DMs talking about how you're going to pay for this and pay for that, being a trick. Come on, fellas. The real issue, inconsistency of standards. If a woman had been consistent, for example, if she gave her box on the first night to Pookies, but then also did the same with the high-value men, in my opinion, I don't think most Black men would complain, right? People wouldn't complain as much. At least she's being consistent across the board. The issue is that she lowers her standard for bums, but raises her standard for the men she actually claims to respect, right? Because if the men you claim to respect, you wouldn't have standards for them, but you would have standards for the actual bums, because the bums would imply that you don't respect them. You feel me? That's hypocrisy, because men are not allowed to do that same thing. Men can't say I spoiled 304s or trips and dinners, but now I'm going to stop doing that for good women until they prove themselves. Society calls that bitter or broken, right? Core logic. Men equal forced to stay consistent even if it costs them. Women are allowed to be inconsistent and no one checks them for it. When men finally pull back, women shame them because it breaks the system of power women have had over the men's performative role. Right? It's a sharp critical culture critique. I'm basically outlining why there's so much friction right now between men and women in modern dating. Men are breaking the unspoken rule that says keep giving no matter what. Right? And I think I did a show breaking down what the unspoken Negro contract is, right? Women are allowed to be inconsistent with who they give their box, time, and energy to, right? But when all women do this across the board while withholding from high-value men, the system gets broken because you're rewarding the worst type of men, especially in Black culture. And then now you expect, then you're not rewarding the high-value men with with refurbished goods. Because in the world of men, so I'm gonna read this in the next one. Men by nature work hard to achieve and earn the best outcomes in life. If their reward for building themselves up is the same low quality woman who gave herself freely to unqualified men, the men lose incentive, right? See, men, we do things for the glory of things. We work hard for the best out of life because we believe we're the best at it. So now, if you keep giving men low quality type of black chick while he's performing at a top peak position, what kind of fucking incentive is that? No, this is why I tell black men, this is why a lot of black men in the manosphere, shout out to the angry man, would tell black men achieve because that's what you want to do. Achieve high because that's who you are and that's what you want to achieve. Don't make your reward or base your reward off the woman. Make the reward based upon you and be self-sustainable. Now, if you want to get into a relationship with a woman because you've competed and you've earned the best out of life, you could dictate the terms. You feel me? How it was originally set up. 3 or 4s got boxed but not commitment. I mean, 3 or 4s got sex but not commitment. So this is the Victorian age now I'm talking about. They were confined to brothels or casual roles. Wives and good women got the full masculine package: protection, provision, leadership, and legacy. Men were so to Fatty's point, men during the Victorian era, right up until I guess the 1950s and when feminism started, men were actually selective with their performance. Right? Men were selective. They didn't wife up 3 or 4s. They didn't pour time, money, and resources into them. They reserved that energy for quality women. So men of the Victorian era actually were selective, right? Women were selective too. Good women saved their virginity, loyalty, and femininity for the best man they could attract. That's what it was in the Victorian era. Why is that? Because the Victorian era was set up for the best man and the best type of woman to get together and create the best type of family. That's why it's set up that way, all right? In the Victorian age, and many cultures before that, both genders had selected standards. Women didn't give their best to every man, only to the one they wanted to marry. Men didn't give their full masculine investment to 3 or 4s, only to the wife and the family structure. This system ensured that good men got good women and bad women didn't get upgraded, right? And for the balance on the woman's side, women, you didn't reward the worst type of man. So the worst type of man, he didn't get access to the best type of woman. All right, because with human beings, you need to create a reward system to give them incentives to compete and get better, right? Modern switch. Somewhere along the way, especially post-feminism, men were tricked into giving their performative standard, dates, resources, validation, leadership, across the board to all women, regardless of whether those women were actually worth it. Women, meanwhile, got the freedom to be less selective upfront, giving themselves to low-value men, then later trying to close up shop when it came to the high-value man, right? That flipped the balance. Now, women get to be inconsistent and rewarded for it, while men are punished for even trying to be selective. The distinction I've made: men still protect and provide in general, societal sense, infrastructure, industry, safety. That's baseline masculine duty. So now, what people mix up, right? Men can be consistent with their masculine service or duty when it comes to the infrastructure of society, politics, trades, craft, public sector, private sector, schools, creating law, protection. When we're talking about the dating and mating now, that's a different marketplace, because in the dating era, you're not supposed to give yourself to the people that are not meant for you or not worthy of you, right? So, but in the mating and dating marketplace, the original design was selective on both sides. Men gave their best to the best woman, women gave their best to the best man. That's how that's supposed to work when it comes to dating. But men still, but when it comes to being consistent on infrastructure, industry, and safety, that's different. That just men are supposed to maintain the structure of society. All right. That's the balance that created family stability. Once they're broke, you got the modern dysfunction where bad behavior is rewarded and good behavior feels punished. Because this is what black men are complaining about. You're punishing the traditional niggas and telling them they're lame, square suckers for picking bad women that you shame them to pick it. Men used to be selective with their performance. Women used to be selective with their box. That's what kept balance. Now women are inconsistent. Men are expected to be consistent, and the whole system collapsed. Because one side is what I said earlier. You're rewarding consistency with inconsistency. In the world of men, we always set the bar, whether it's sports, money, status, or achievement. Men naturally push each other with standards. The high value man conversation just resented that in dating. So I give Kevin Samuels a lot of props for that because he did set that foundation for black men. All right. Even though he had Tommy Sotomayor and the Angry Man standard, shout out to the Angry Man standard because it also gives. I should have put Angry Man standard in here because I actually read his book and shit. Right. Kevin Samuels' version, Six Figures Network, consistency, purpose, brought back traditional standards for men. It wasn't just about money; it was about discipline, status, and leverage. That gave black men power in negotiation. If you reach that standard, you can dictate the terms of what kind of woman qualify for commitment. I wish a lot of black men would make this standard their goal, or at least try to reach that standard, because we'd have a lot of leverage in the dating game. Why some men felt threatened. The players, pookies, broke dudes, and fake conscious Max on YouTube, they hated this. Why? Because if black women aligned with high value standard, it would collapse the box economy. Women would no longer give the best of themselves to the low value man. They save their box time and femininity for the men who reach that high bar. That would mean less casual access, less easy validation, and less power for the non-productive dudes, right? Because how it used to work, y'all like going back to Africa and shit. Y'all like talking about Africa was polygyny and this shit. How it worked in Africa, right? When you talk about the societies that was called Argonian, I forgot. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then you had the societies that was post-coastal. In the Argonian society, the Africans were polygyny, was one man to multiple women. But that society or economy was based upon what you call farm labor, produce, like fruits and vegetables and shit, right? But in that situation, that was more structured. The men dictated society, economics, and whatsoever, and they gave the responsibility of labor to the women. The women had a duty. So when y'all talk about Africa and shit, and y'all talk about polygyny, and men have multiple women, y'all speak about that in the sex lens. You're not talking about no damn structure. When the Africans did it, they had structure. The women had their roles to play, and the men had their patriarchal role to play. And guess what? In those African societies, the men that produced more, that had more value to contribute in society, they got the most type of women. In black culture today, it's the opposite. The less productive the men who are not as productive get the most access to women. But it should be the other way around. Let me say that properly. In African societies, the most productive dudes, I'm talking about pre-colonial Africa now. Go look up the history. The most productive dudes had the access to most women because the most productive dudes had more money, power, and resources. But in today's society, in black culture, the black men who are less productive get access to the most women, and it's not doing shit. Because the less productive women have the less productive men have nothing to offer those women besides dick and problems. So this is why I don't believe in any open non-monogamous niggas or none of that shit, because you're not doing that with no structure. You're not passing down anything. You're not producing anything for those women to take and increase the value. Let's get into it. For once, black men as a collective had leverage. If you want a man at this level, you have to meet these standards as a woman. That's a power position. Men had the ability to negotiate and dictate, not just be told what to do. Before this, many women could still access high-value brothers without meeting standards themselves, which was unbalanced. All right. The real problem, instead of men uniting to push that standard forward, which would have forced women to level up too, some men tried to tear it down. They framed the high-value man concept as unrealistic or unnecessary, not realizing they were protecting their own access to easy women at the bottom. No, they did realize it, right? In reality, the high-value standard was one of the few frameworks that restored balance by giving men leverage and making women accountable. High-value standards raised the bar for men. They also raised the bar for women, forcing women to be more selective and disciplined. The only people who hated that were the ones who benefit from the broken system. Low-value men and dysfunctional women. So low-value men and dysfunctional women of the community or black culture, they've held the power to dictate the culture and the way it moves for a long damn time, right? The dysfunctional women, like I said earlier, they were able to dictate the terms by gaining access to high-value dudes by shaming them into dating them. The low-value men had power because they had access to those women. See what I'm saying? So all men have money. This is my content of niggas that talk about all men have money. Maybe I should save this for another show right here. Yeah, I'm gonna save this for another show. Yeah, this is for another show right here. I don't know when I'm gonna do that show, but I'm gonna do this show right here, or do a pre-recording video. Okay, so in conclusion, we're not going to fix this problem in black culture if black women are still allowed to be unchecked and unheld accountable, and now get to be inconsistent, get to be low value, and expect a high value man to give them access to them. Because now he's rewarding women that don't qualify, and this keeps causing a problem. So, black men, when I spit game to y'all, it's like I'm spitting game to myself. And what I want to see us stop doing is stop putting ourselves in dangerous situations and in bad situations where we can lose our life or lose our money or lose reputation. And dealing with black women in 2025 and beyond, that's the risk. And right now, it's not worth the risk. So black men, when I tell y'all game to vet, I'm not telling you to do that stuff to benefit the women. I'm telling you to do that stuff to benefit yourself so you can protect yourself out here. Because black men, you're not in the 80s and 90s where you didn't have the capital and money no more. You're walking into the space of patriarchy. You're walking into the space of being men. Right? So now you have to treat yourself like and you're in a hostile environment that don't already like you. Now you have money, so they're definitely not gonna like you now. Everybody gonna come try to take the king's crown. So you gotta start protecting yourself out there from these black women. So I'm happy for these conversations. Shout out to the Untouchables, shout out to Fatty, shout out to Ali. Y'all doing good works over there. Shout out to the Angry Man. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Shout out to all the OGs. You know what I'm saying? This is Kid Shorty Gamer Nation. Like, share, subscribe. Help me get out there.